Hi, welcome to the Dole Edge. This is a podcast where we answer all the questions that nobody's ever asked us, but we want to answer anyway. I'm Shay.
And I'm Bobbi.
And I am Bobby's brother. You can go Quinton or Kane. It might be both sometime in between. Who knows?
I'm so glad we debated about that. The whole thing. You're like, what do you want to be? This or like, that? Oh. Or do you even want a name? You know what? Anything's good.
But I just figured at this point that you guys would probably mess it up at some point.
Oh, that's why
so we'd have to re-record the intro. Is that what you're saying?
Not mess it up. I'm saying you guys would call me Quinton at some point and Kane. So might as well just say my name's like Quinton or Kane.
He's Quinton Kane. Kane spelled with a K, not the Bible Kane.
I would have been like you. I wouldn't have, because Kane wouldn't have never came out.
Oh my gosh, you're hilarious. Okay, so our topic for today.
I called you Quinton twice to get your attention, but how I say Quinton has no consonants, hard consonants. So finally I was like, Kane! And you were like... And I was like, frick. Yeah, that was like, daggone freaking.
See, this is why you have to have two names, because then you can get any answers that you want. See?
I guess.
Yeah, you have to have two names.
It's just easier.
It's just easier.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways.
Okay, so topic for today. If you don't text me first, I will probably not open my door. And in addition to that, if you don't call and leave a message, I will not call you back. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
why?
Why?
Yeah, why? Are you the same? Okay, let's go around the circle first. So Bobby, what are you?
I'd prefer a text if you're coming, because I don't answer the door, even whether if it's at my apartment. Oh frick, no, I ain't answering if you know I live in there, holy frick, that would scare me. If it's to my mom's house, I still will like crawl to the window and peek out and be like, oh, it's Bill. Okay, we can open the door. Yeah, no, there's no way. And the phone call and you leave a message, unless it's my mom, I ain't calling you back.
Even if they leave a message?
Yeah, no.
So you're never a return caller, ever?
They would have to be like there's not even a thing. Like, I've never had like a doctor call back or whatever. Like, I don't know. I just don't. I don't call back if you need something. I'll text you back, maybe. Back.
Okay, that's fine.
If it's a doctor, maybe I'll call back, but I haven't, knock on wood, haven't had an incident.
They always email you anyway now.
That's true.
Okay. Kane, you?
It's whatever. You show up, I'll answer the door.
You have no problem just answering the door. You don't know who's there?
Yeah, no, I don't care. You show up the door, I'll answer it. I'm like, oh, someone knocked at the door. Yeah, like, I'm usually in my office, which has a view of the porch. So if someone's like there when I'm working, I probably already see you, or I can like quickly turn and be like, oh, you're the mail person. Or, oh, you're a solicitor. Oh, you're Bobbi.
But you're just fine opening the door for all those people.
I don't care.
Would you have done it when you were at home? Or is it now that you're like, this is my house and it's probably for me? Or like at home, would you have been like, no, thank you? I would have, like, when growing up, I would check the window first. But exactly, like what I do still.
But at this point, it's like, I don't care. Like, or hello. But then, like,
oh my gosh, you're like so brave.
But I mean, like,
you're such a risk taker.
At the same time, like, I do get texts, but I'm also used to being like just ambushed. Like,
what the? I'm used to having people jump out of the woods.
Well, I mean, you guys did it to me yesterday. You literally like, hey, are you home? Yeah, but we're on our way. Okay.
See, that's not an ambush. That's a text first.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You guys could have just shown up. It would have made no difference to me.
Oh no, we don't. No.
So it's
because you guys are so busy all the time. So we're always like, you home, and you're always like, we're at the DI.
But
so then we don't come.
I know, but at the same time, if you guys just showed up, like, okay, if I
but to be fair,
I think the texting and confirmation is more of a convenience for you than it is for me.
See, but I'm also like, you know, it's me, because I'm always like, my face is pressed against your window.
Yeah, well, that's where it's like,
you're the weirdo.
And it's Morgan being like, Bobbi, Bobbi's here.
Yeah, when you guys call and talk to us, or anybody like lets us know, hey, we're on our way. It's like, all right, it's a convenience for you guys.
It's a polite.
You guys. I feel like it's more the person who's trying to contact us is trying to contact us to make sure that they can make contact with us.
Yeah.
But if you just randomly showed up and made contact with us, be like, all right,
I guess
you lucked out. We were here.
Dude, you're crazy.
Rick, so what are you? No. You're the same with me?
I will not answer the door, even if it's people that I know. Like, I will look out the window and like, no, you didn't text me first.
Oh my gosh. So do you think it's because it's not your house? Or
no, it was
like,
that way before when I had my own house before we lived.
You were like, no, thank you.
Like, no.
Don't give two poops who it is.
Yeah, I like have like a whole split space that I can stand where I can see you, but you can't see me from inside the house. Like, and it's a real thing. If you didn't text me first,
that makes it sound so creepier than me crawling to the window.
No, I absolutely will not answer the door. No, and what about phone calls though, Kane? You just are, if they like don't leave you a message, do you call them back?
Well, one, I'm a terrible like phone call texter.
Oh yeah.
Like if you don't catch me on the first go, like it's gonna get lost in the sea of other things that are happening. Because I get phone calls. I probably get at least a dozen phone calls every day from work, and I get texts and IM messages all the time. So if I'm like in a meeting and someone calls me, like I'll know and I'll like mentally try to say I'll call you back. But then in 3 minutes I'm gonna forget because someone else called me in another meeting.
But if they leave a message, will you call them back?
I will. Like yesterday, someone called me about fiber installs. They left me a message. I called them back.
Okay, so yeah,
fiber installs.
We're getting fiber at our house, so that's
okay.
That's
so you were just like, I'm
just
interested.
a scatterbrained issue. Mine is like a boundaries issue.
Yeah.
Like if you I don't care who you are. If my mom doesn't leave me a message, I won't call her back.
You won't call your mom?
No, because I'm a monster. No,
that's like
you have to leave a message.
What if
I have to call my mom back so I don't get in trouble.
Like, if someone called, like if it's my mom, like if it's my mom and she calls me like 2 or 3 times in a row without leaving a message, then yeah, absolutely pick up the phone for sure. But no, if you call me and if you don't leave a message, I will not call you back. I won't do it.
That's nuts.
No, I have to know what you need. I have to know what you need.
Are you scared that your mom's gonna be like, will you do this for me or something? Like,
sometimes.
Are you?
It depends.
You won't just be like, I don't want to do that.
No, I have to know what it is first.
Oh my gosh.
I have to have the message.
I feel that sometimes where it's certain people, I'm like, why? What is that about?
Yeah.
Where I'm like,
absolutely, leave me a message.
No, thank you. Do you guys like get texts? Will you wait on them? Like if you get a text from someone, you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to answer that right now.
Especially, well, if
on
I
purpose?
If I have to coordinate with somebody else and not just the person that's texting me, yeah, I'll wait. I won't even like read it so that it doesn't show that it's read on their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll wait for.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll wait more than 24 hours though.
I think it depends. Like I waited on my hockey one because I didn't want to seem too eager, so I was like, I'm gonna wait 24 hours and then be like, yeah, I'm in. Even though I totally was like, yeah, I'm in.
If I don't respond back immediately, I'm probably not gonna respond.
Oh yeah, no. I texted you.
That's exactly what she texted, word for word. No.
Yeah. I texted you about like 3 or 4 things about like fencing, and then you just never came back, and I was like, what the frick?
I told you, like if I don't get that response right away, it's probably not coming.
I know, okay, but like I feel like your answers are because you're scatterbrained. Not there's like no personal.
There's no like
personal
there's
opinion
no strategy
here.
in
What's
there.
your strategy?
No,
like if you didn't have a million phone calls every day, like it was like.
What if it was just like
you?
Nothing? Like if you had my phone call records where it was like mom, and then that was it, and you missed the call because you're loading FedEx or something, would you be like, oh, I'll call you back, or would you be like,
I know we're prying now. Tell us what's in your brain, Kane. Tell us.
I would potentially call back eventually, but like.
But it wouldn't bother you if they didn't leave a message.
No.
Oh my gosh.
It's like okay.
No.
Like okay, you called me,
dude.
If I happen to call you back, where it's like I'll see him eventually, I'll be like, did you need something the other day? Like,
no.
What was you tried to reach out to me?
You just have this laissez-faire attitude towards communication.
Do you leave messages? Do you leave?
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? I hate when people answer the phone. Like, please don't answer your phone. If I call you, don't answer your phone. Let me leave you a message. But why would I ever call you when I can text?
Oh yeah, I text no matter what. But then if I have to call, I'm like, just don't answer. It's fine. Screw it. F it off.
All I'm saying is, for work, I have to be Johnny on the spot.
Yeah.
Like, okay, someone's calling, I got to answer, and I got to respond immediately because people are going to start yelling at me.
I heard some upper lady like called you and you were not prepared, and you're like, Is that true?
Oh yeah, all the time. I call them ambushes. I'm like, oh, like someone called me into a group because teams will like, someone is calling you from a group. Okay, so obviously they're already meeting. Yeah. And they're pulling me into it, and I'm like, all right, what am I getting ambushed about? And then I have to respond immediately to whatever they're talking about, as if I know what they're talking about.
I could never have your job. I would murder people. I would. I'd be like, no, you don't. The
other day, I got invited to a meeting it was like noon, and then the meeting was like at 2, and they're like, hey, we want you to be here. It'd be really good if you could present. Like, on what? What am I presenting on?
You're like, I'm not even a part of this.
See, but that's why I need messages. You have to leave me messages. I need to know what you expect of me.
For me, at this point, it doesn't bother me. I just get, like,
Did you present?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And
you just did it, like, off the top of your head.
That's all I do all the time.
Good cricket.
Anyways, but my work is so, like, sporadic, and I'm so used to getting just bombarded.
So you've just been conditioned.
I'm just conditioned at this point that, like, I'm going to be conditioned. That doesn't matter. I'm just going to get contacted in some way at some point. And if it really matters, you're going to reach out again. But then after work is done or non-work stuff, my brain is like,
Well, that's enough of that.
Well, comparatively, like, it can wait. Like,
yeah.
It's fine. Or it's like, I don't even want to think about this. I'm done communicating.
Okay. All right.
So if they really want to get in touch with me.
See, you're not that far from us after all. See, you're like, if they really want to get in touch with me, they will.
They will, but I'm also like, all right, it's going to be like, what, 2 days before I see them next? Like,
okay.
Okay.
So now here's my thing, because I sound like a psychopath, right? As I'm saying this.
Yeah, when you were like, oh yeah, I have a spot. I can see people from outside, but they can't see me. Okay. I was like, you're a freaking in this car where you're all dark. I'm like,
you know I'm nuts. Okay, here's the thing though, is I actually am voting historically in favor of myself, and this is like because the phone culture is bizarre. The phone culture is so new for the history of humanity that they actually had a whole social system before of how you were supposed to contact somebody that you wanted to reach out to. They're called calling cards. Do you know this? You've heard of them?
Yes.
I've heard of them.
Calling cards or visiting cards. Okay, there's like a whole etiquette, and it started like in the late 1500s and went all the way until like the 1880s of how you were to contact somebody, because it's rude. It's rude just to show up at their house and be like, hi, I'm here, now take care of me.
Yeah.
I'm now in your personal space. And it's only because of the telephone that now we have all this instant, I can talk to you whenever I feel like talking to you. That's so rude. It's so rude.
I feel like it's more rude to just show up at someone's house, because then you're like, I freaking was in the middle of something.
Yeah.
But the calling one, you could just like multitask, so I feel less rude calling them on the spur of the moment, because then they can continue on, or you can be like, well, I gotta go.
Right.
But
so,
like,
the thing with that though is like you actually are using a social precedent from that time period as well, because what would happen is people would drop off their calling card, and a servant or a housekeeper or someone would take the calling card and then take it to their master.
True.
And the richer you were, the more fancy the calling cards were, and same with the delivery.
Okay.
Right? But still, you had to go through a mediary. And that mediary, that slave servant, whatever you want to call it, is now our phone.
Slave.
Well, depending on... let's not go down that path, but that's really what it was. And so the phone is now the servant.
Yeah.
And so, no, you don't just get to like walk past the servant and talk to me directly. That's rude.
Yeah.
It's so rude. You need to leave a text, and then when I am ready, I will then return
my
calling card, my text back to you.
Yeah.
And that's how they did it. So like courtship, even like old people, lawyers, doctor, anybody. Here's my calling card. They would take it to them, and then you'd be like, oh yes, I can see them now. Or 2 days later or a day later, you would drop by their house and leave a calling card at their house, which then meant now we can talk.
So you're vehemently against the concept of instant messaging, and all you want is messaging.
Yes. I want to go back to letters.
Oh my gosh.
Like, don't interrupt my peace of mind. Don't do that. It's rude.
Dude, I'm going to start sending you letters. I was doing that. I was sending letters to people, and then it dropped off because people stopped sending them back. Or it was like,
do you know how happy it would make me if I got a letter in the mail?
I don't even know what I talk to you too often. I don't know what I would say to you.
Doesn't matter. You just send
I'll just be like, this is what happened to me at work today, and then I'll mail it off, and I just won't talk to you.
No, just send me a calling card. Just like print yourself on a business card and put your name in there, slid it in the card, and then send it to me.
Oh my gosh. Feel free to text me. I have the information, and that's all it'll say.
Text me at this time.
At this time. Text me at this time specifically.
Only available between 3:04 and
it's funny
3:15.
You would say that's what they would do. So on the back of the cards were always blank, and the servant staff, whatever, would have a pencil for you, and then they would hand you the pencil. On the back of the card, you would write what you wanted to have happen. I'm available to be visited for these hours if you would like, and then you would send it to them. And it's like the nicest, most polite, gentle way of communicating with other human beings.
Are you sure?
Yes.
And then
has this happened to you in real life, or is this just fantasy?
My word, no. Can you imagine if people did that?
Could you imagine she would get a card and then be like, "Whoop, don't like that," throw it away, and be like, "I never got that one."
Like in this scenario, like one, you wouldn't answer the door for the person who's delivering the calling card.
Could you imagine how many calling cards are just jammed in the door frame, and she just opens it and it's like confetti coming down? She's like, "Oh, frick!"
Oh, well, thank you for flattering me that many people want to talk to me.
And then half the time you'd probably be like, "All right, where's that pencil?" No.
Just crosses out.
But it's
unavailable.
So much more polite. Like that's so much more.
I don't know
polite.
if I went to the effort of sending a letter and like, manservant, please walk across town, hand this to the person, and then come on back and then be like, no, I don't want to see you. I'd be like, all right, now I'm doubly offended.
Or the fact that they walk across town and he's like,
at least
and you're like, servant, don't answer that.
At least with a phone call, if someone doesn't answer their phone call, like you just look at them and go like, you're just bad with phones.
Yeah.
Like it happens to me. You're just bad with
It's the same
phones.
mentality. Come on.
Yeah, but I'm not double offended.
You're bad hiring servants that open doors. Okay, sure.
So you need to hire new staff so that you can like unlock that door and
I mean,
be like,
okay, so like obviously we could never go back to that time period. Like obviously.
Dude, no, just train your kids.
Train my kids. No, they do. I did. Are you
Oh my
kidding
gosh.
me? They don't
Train
answer
them.
the door.
No,
My kids don't answer
train
the
them to
door.
answer the door and then hand people a paper and be like,
What do
come
you
back
want?
at these times.
Come back at these times. I will be available for visiting. People would. They would set up visiting hours. You could have
you
visiting
just need to
hours.
pretend
What
to
are we,
be
like,
the
old
staff
people?
at your house and be like, I'm sorry, the master of the
She's
house
not
is not
home,
here.
though. Yeah,
Did I
but
tell you?
they're always
Oh my
trying to
gosh.
talk
Are
to
you-
me. They're always trying to reach out to me. It's
Well,
never.
you don't have to tell them that it's you.
That's
Like,
true.
actually,
That's not
no,
me.
I'm just the staff. You know?
I went to
I
her
don't
house
know
to
anything.
get the sword and I opened the door. No, I didn't open the
George
door.
did.
That's called
Every time I
breaking
go
and
over,
entering.
Don't do
every
that.
time I go, it's George.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
George opens the door and I was
He
like,
likes people.
is Shay here is Shay available to play? And he stared at me, he's like, what? And I was like, is Aaron here? Sorry, I just doubted you, but I was like,
Yeah,
and
that's
he's
my
like,
real name.
yeah, hold on 1 second. And then he like, I'll go get her. And I was like, okay. And he's like, here, you can, and then he's like, walked into a door that's like right here. And I
It's
was
the
like, that
dining
is,
room.
I'm like, that's, in my mind, I was like, that's not where she lives. That's not her
Yeah, I live
room.
downstairs.
And then he comes out a different door and is like, you can stay in here. And then he like walks away to where you live.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the frick are we, what
No, it's
the frick?
It's called a visiting room.
I
That's
know.
what it's for.
We used to have one. Well, we didn't because it was my room at the beginning. But it just was so odd where he's like, in one door, out the other.
Like,
And he's
yeah.
like, you can stand
If
in
you're
here.
gonna go get someone in the house, you leave them on the porch. Like,
Yeah.
No, that's
Punishment
what
for
the visiting room is
arriving.
for.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. No, stay right here. Unless the weather is bad, then you just leave them like right inside the door. You get the entry. That's it.
Okay,
You don't
well,
get a.
that's fair. But he has the visiting room, and they're very proud of their visiting
That's
room.
fair.
They let
That's
people come and
fair.
stand in the visiting room.
there,
just a-
you're in a very different situation.
I am in a very
than
different
most.
situation, but that's actually an old school, old world type of thing to do as well. Is to invite people into the foyer of your home and let them stand there while you take their letter or their visiting card or whatever. So yeah, that's normal. Like that's actually normal for most of human history.
Oh my.
All right.
Yeah, the phone has ruined us. It's ruined us, you guys. Yeah.
Look, I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing. If you need to get a hold of me, you're gonna
This
get a
is
hold of me
amazing.
somehow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna think about you
If I
in
want to get
some
a hold
high
of
window
you, I
being
text
like,
Emily. I don't ever try to text you.
I tell a lot of people that. It's like if you really want to plan something with me, talk to her. If
Yeah.
you want to like get on her calendar, her. If you want to
I
text me,
know.
don't text me. Text her.
Yep.
oh my gosh.
Like call her because it's like she's gonna be way more prepared than I.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start texting as if I'm a servant now. Oh,
now.
are you looking for Bobbi? Okay, well, she'll text you back in a few hours because she's
So
busy at the moment.
terrible.
Just set it up as an auto response.
And I'll have-
every time someone texts me.
The person you're trying to contact is not available for visiting hours at this time. Please leave a message.
And then I'll
Oh
have like
my
the little
word.
signature at the bottom.
No.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, you can do that. Set it
Oh
as
my
an
Oh my
auto
goodness. I
response.
will. Oh my
Okay,
god.
we'll have to talk about Irish exits sometime and how I feel about it.
Oh my freaking
How would you do that
gosh.
next?
It's so
do that next.
satisfying when you mess that up with someone though. When they're like,
When you
I'm
catch them.
sneaking out and you're like, hey, bye,
catch
and
them.
everyone's like, hey, bye.
You're like, dang it.
If you
All right. Speaking of which,
Okay,
anyways, all right.
yeah. All right. Thanks, Kane.
Thanks for being on our podcast.
Thank you for being on our podcast. You should come back another time.
Feel free to tell your friends about this.
that was supposed to be an Irish exit, you
Yeah,
guys.
you failed. You failed terribly. And we're
He just
saying
stands up and
you did
leaves
it
like
wrong
this.
because you said speaking of. You're not supposed
Oh,
to
yeah,
draw attention
you
to
have
it.
to
You
say
did
nothing.
badly.
Obviously, I need a lesson. See, but at the same
No.
time, I will say bye and I'll like escort people out the door and be like, "See ya." Like,
That's enough out of you. Goodbye.
Oh, I love you. Go home.
Oh my gosh.
Depending on who they are.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I feel like we ran that one out. So anyway,
Okay.
I guess we say thanks
yeah,
for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Let us know how you feel about all of this.
if you need to get a hold of us or anyone for further questions on this podcast, we probably might
Probably won't
respond.
respond.
Just say leave a comment. We'll get there when we get there,
Send someone to our door and we'll send.
and
back.
we will not open it. Just
We-
leave
we-
leave
we-
your letter in the
visiting
crack.
card.
We'll watch from our stoop. What you call
You won't see us, but we'll see you.
Oh,
That's what your card should say.
yep.
You
I
didn't
saw
see
you.
me, but I saw you. Feel free to come back between 3 and 5.
Amen.
Oh my gosh. Okay, bye.
Bye.